Okay, so welcome to our FinTech Finance News studio. Can you please introduce yourself and your company?
Absolutely. I'm Keren Moynihan. I'm the CEO of Boss Insights. We are a global leading, award-winning data and insights provider, and we work with banks, credit unions, fintechs, anybody looking to really serve that SMB, that small and medium business, in a way that they've never been served before, engaging them and really putting them first.
And tell us more about how you do that, how you make that happen.
Well, this is near and dear to me. I'm a former commercial banker myself, and I was working at a #1 bank in Canada, actually, even though we serve basically the US market and a little bit of the Canadian and UK market. When I was a business banker, everything was done by putting people first, not the customer, I mean the bankers. So we would go and we would ask businesses what they want, and then we would make them send us documentation, and then we would calculate it, and the whole process, when you do it manually, takes weeks, months. I know people who have been waiting for 6 months to get responses about their loans or payment solutions, and business owners don't have that time. And this was when technology really started to infiltrate the banking industry. So we teamed up with somebody who was ex-Amazon who said, you know, you can apply a technical layer to this industry and you can just handle the science and let the people handle the art of the relationship. So that's what we did. We have a single connection that pulls accounting information, financial statements, sales information, IRS tax data, payroll data, and it moves to any data source you require, calculates whatever you want, and lets the business know what they need to know in order to grow their business.
And what are the challenges and also the opportunities for SMEs across North America and Canada at the moment?
Well, here's the thing. As a technology provider that works with their service providers, meaning the banks, the fintechs, we see firsthand that everyone is just a little bit overwhelmed. And I think we should first as an industry acknowledge that. There's too much to do and too little time. And when you're talking about 5 million businesses launching last year, how on earth, as a fintech, as a financial institution, can you evaluate which business is the appropriate one for the technology you're offering them? Who's appropriate for your payment solution? Who's appropriate for your lending solution? Let alone, how do you serve the whole customer? So what we've been doing is making sure that the fintech, the bank, the credit union is equipped to approach the business and say, I'm going to put the services back in financial services. I'm going to take your information and I'm going to tell you what you need to know in order to grow.
And for SMEs who are watching this, how can they really benefit from FinTech and how will FinTech help drive business success in the next few years?
I wish I could talk to everyone directly and say, let's go to a website of any bank. And what you'll see is that bank tells you, take some capital. Here's some insurance. Here's some banking details. Here's a payments tool. Here's foreign exchange. An average business owner is not really trained in financial services, and I'm still very confused as to why they should be the ones to identify what product is right for them. When you go to a grocery store, you're equipped to know what food you want to eat. But in financial services, an industry that's incredibly complex, there should be a trusted advisor that doesn't just take your order in a transactional way, but really guides you as to this is going to help you grow. Things like, are you aware that you're selling and your price is not competitive with your peers, or you're collecting on your receivables later than others in the industry? These are things that a bank, that a fintech can tell a business. And that's really what business owners should expect. They're coming to expect it from their fintechs, but those are pinpointed solutions. So we have a little bit of a gap in the industry.
Yes, and what are you working on at the moment in exciting projects or new partnerships?
I'm trying to think of what I can share here. We are working on a very exciting partnership in the wealth tech area. If you're a person, your largest asset seems to be your house. If you're a business owner, it tends to be your business. And right now, if you're in the wealth management industry, you really do not have a good way to evaluate which business owners are ready for that type of service. We're also doing a lot of work with very large global leading cloud-based solutions who are targeting the financial services industry. We have a lot of case studies on our website with banks and fintechs who have been approaching the industry to put the customer first. So we're happy to share some of those in the link at bossinsights.com as well.
And tell us about the importance of really assisting SMEs and how that benefits the wider economy as a whole. Why are they so important?
A lot of people don't realize, we've heard a lot of talk about banks and perhaps things we're not servicing properly. It's very expensive to do things manually. And this is not a new story. We might be having new issues right now with banks who have not had enough resources to stay afloat. But for the past decade actually, banks have been slowly losing market share. What we've shown is that if you automate the gathering of the information you need to handle a business's request, if you identify what it is they need in the first place, you can serve them 80% faster, 80% cheaper. That's a win-win proposition. So there are a lot of banks who realize this, but PwC came out with a study and they showed that only 9% of financial institutions consider themselves innovative. 9%? That's the challenge that we have to overcome together as an industry so that we can truly put that SMB customer first and say, your vision matters. We're going to be there to support your growth.
And we're here at the Fintech Meetup. How is it going?
And I'm so excited about Fintech Meetup. This is our third Fintech Meetup. And it's really interesting to see how conferences are innovating in this industry. This particular conference knows how to ensure that you get in touch with people who are looking for your services. It's really a challenge actually when you get thousands of businesses, put them in a room together for 48 hours and say, all right, connect. And Fintech Meetup has really taken it upon themselves to add a data-driven layer to that. So as a data-driven company, as someone who's co-chairing the Data Standards Committee for SMB through FDX, I really admire what Fintech Meetup is doing.
And what are the key topics that are standing out for you at this event? What are people talking about in the fintech space?
We're talking about the need to enable payments, not just from payment providers, but in an embedded way from a business's accounting system. We're talking about ways to accelerate lending. Of course, capital is always a need. We're talking about something that MasterCard released actually, which is most business owners just want to know their cash position. They have on average 5 to 8 financial relationships and do not know what they can do, how much money they have to play with. These are some of the hot topic items.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Well, thanks so much for doing this and contributing to the industry.
Thank you.